Just a few days ago, the Consumer Technology Association announced that CES 2021 will go ahead as planned next January, which came as a bit of a shock after mass cancellations of similarly large events like MWC in the face of COVID-19. Of course, this news comes just weeks after it was also announced that Evo will still be held in September, just a few months away, albeit at a massively reduced capacity. Given the current health situation and without a vaccine in sight, it's hard to imagine anything resembling regular attendance at these events anyway, but one way or another, they're still happening. So let's talk about these trade shows for a minute because they play a huge role in device launches. Sure, some of the bigger players like Samsung and Apple choose to hold their own launch events to give their new devices the full spotlight treatment, but trade shows are an opportune time for smaller companies to get their products in front of the high concentration of journalists and partners that are already there. They're also a good chance for us to check out some of the more niche products that may not fall under our usual scope of coverage, like drones and cars and this thing. The CTA has laid out some loose guidelines to limit physical contact at next year's CES, but the main purpose of media outlets like Android Central at these shows is to go hands-on with as many devices as possible. And in the midst of a global pandemic with vendors from all around the world, that's just not feasible. Elsewhere, companies are having to reevaluate the ROI of holding dedicated events in enclosed spaces. The costs of booking and staffing a venue, along with oftentimes flying journalists and influencers out to these events, is increasingly hard to justify when fewer people are willing to attend due to health concerns. Even in a post-COVID world, there's a good chance a large number of the companies we cover will decide that it's just not worth the investment anymore to hold physical events. Instead, we could see more instances of well-established outlets receiving early units under embargo, with virtual briefings being held over conference calls to fill us in on new features. But that could also mean fewer opportunities for smaller creators to go hands-on with new devices. It also means the companies that do decide to continue holding physical events may do so less often, or we could even see them try to squeeze more devices into each launch as a result. Though again, attendance of those events will likely be drastically reduced for at least the next year. Of course, there's also the possibility that some companies may skip initial media coverage entirely, going straight from announcement live streams to store shelves without a review cycle in between. That's not necessarily a bad thing, and we've certainly seen it before, but it does mean consumers will have less information available to them when making a buying decision. In the meantime, we're already seeing the impact trickle beyond trade shows and into major standalone events like Google I/O, which was initially postponed and eventually thrown out entirely due to COVID-19. It's pretty safe to assume that even once coronavirus is a distant memory as part of the nightmare that is 2020, there's little chance of a return to normalcy. Phone launches will still be a thing, but we're gonna have to wait and see exactly what form they'll take in the future. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel, and check out some of our other videos while you're here. We've really started to ramp up our production schedule as of late. Thanks as always for watching, stay safe, and look out for one another.